spin number 2, back to y'all with another video. And today I'm gonna be talking about Baker Mayfield and his options. And options seem limited now that the Colts acquired Matt Ryan. And Baker Mayfield wanted to go to the Colts, and that was one of his preferred trade destinations. But that won't happen. and it's looking real blim and looking real dim in the future for Baker Mayfield, the former number one overall pick, who's a former rookie of the year. And we just all remember that rookie season that he took over for Tyrod Taylor, and see how that team rallied around him to now looking 2 seasons past, and he's looking for a new team. The Browns acquired Deshaun Watson in that blockbuster trade, and Baker Mayfield wanting out. Now it seems like the options are dim. You got the Seattle Seahawks, who traded Russell Wilson, who's still probably looking at a quarterback with Drew Lock, and we don't know what that situation might be. We still have the Pittsburgh Steelers, who might have a little interest in somebody like a Baker Mayfield, but that's in division, and I don't think the Browns are going to trade Baker Mayfield to somebody like the Pittsburgh Steelers. And one of the last options will be somebody like the Carolina Panthers, but the Carolina Panthers in recent reports have reported that they have little interest in somebody like a Baker Mayfield. And it's really sad for Baker Mayfield and what his options are coming to. I do think he is a starting caliber quarterback in this league, but the options have been limited. Since the start of free agency, and you see a lot of quarterback movement going around, and people finding out their quarterback. Also, you have the draft coming up, and people want to see what these quarterbacks in this draft class, even though it's a weak quarterback draft coming into this year. They still like some of the options, like Kenny Pickett, who's coming out of Pittsburgh, who I think has a decent amount of potential in this league. Somebody like a Malik Willis, who to me would be a perfect fit for somebody like an Atlanta. Or you could even say Carolina might be interested in somebody like a Malik Willis. But we all know that teams are not looking for a Baker Mayfield right now until probably after the draft to see where his trade market stacks up. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns just flat out release him, because you hear reports also talking about how the Browns wanted a first-round pick for somebody like a Baker Mayfield, which I don't think they were ever going to get for a Baker Mayfield. I don't even think they would probably get a third-round pick for a Baker Mayfield. I think he would probably garner at best maybe a fifth or sixth-round pick from him. And the options seem limited. The only place that I do see him probably landing is probably somewhere like a Seattle, but I don't think that's going to happen. Probably until after the draft is over. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if Baker Mayfield ends up getting drafted. Not getting drafted, but getting traded during the season, because I see this situation playing out during the season. See how teams develop. See how quarterback situation develop, and also if the key quarterback injuries get injured, and you want to find a decent starting average quarterback, I think somebody like a Baker Mayfield can step up and play that role. But right now, the market seems slim. Not even for Baker Mayfield. Let's not forget about Jimmy Garoppolo and what's happening in San Francisco. You hear rumors that Trey Lance might not be ready in his development, so somebody like a Jimmy Garoppolo might have to stay for another season. Because even with Jimmy Garoppolo, you could argue that his options are getting even more limited. You could bring him in for Pittsburgh and compete with Mitch Trubisky, Dwayne Haskins, and Mason Rudolph, and see how he might compete against them. Or he could be traded to Carolina, is still looking for a quarterback with a Sam Darnold, and see how those options develop for them. But right now, I do feel like the options are limited for both teams and what they want for somebody like a Jimmy Garoppolo, because people seen him what a Jimmy Garoppolo is and what he's done in the playoffs, and people are not impressed. Ever since that Super Bowl when he missed that throw, I think that was a very a moment changer for a lot of teams. And Jimmy Garoppolo, he just makes critical mistakes during big moments of the game, and his decision making can go up and down. Even though he's made he's made 2 NFC championship games and two Super Bowls. We do all remember that pounding that San Francisco did with the Packers 2 championship games ago, and how many over 200 yards rushing against the Packers that game. and Jimmy Garoppolo had to do little to no work. And during that Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo looked uneven and he looked shook and he looked nervous. And teams are wondering, can he win those type of games for them when it comes down to throwing with his arm? And it's just interesting what these two teams are going to do. I think the Browns, they're not really more in a difficult situation because they have their quarterback situation solidified. So is the San Francisco, but we don't know what Trey Lance can be. Even though I do think he has a lot of potential. He ever since he went down with that injury during the last part of the season, or to the mid last part of the season, Trey Lance's development is kind of slowed down, and they're not liking what they're seeing. So, do you keep Jimmy Garoppolo on board just in case Trey Lance doesn't develop the way you think he can? And with Baker Mayfield, we know he's probably not going to be in the roster all season long or before the season starts because, it's just going to be a difficult situation in terms of the locker room and the dynamics. But I do think the Browns want to find a decent trade partner and try to get some compensation for him. But I don't think they'll find the compensation that they're looking for somebody like a Baker Mayfield. And his options are limited, man. He's after that stellar season, and after a stellar rookie season. It's just been down. It's been some up and downs. He won a playoff game in Cleveland. He's shown people why he was that guy. But I just think he has some maturity issues and leadership issues that kind of plagued him when he was coming to this draft. So it's just going to be interesting to see what his options might be. But let's hope on the future that he regains footing in this league. I still think he's an average quarterback. He doesn't do anything well. He doesn't do anything that's going to really beat you. But I would also throw out another team. Why not the Minnesota Vikings? I think that would be a good fit for Baker Mayfield. He come behind and back up somebody like a Kirk Cousins. That would be a good to me a good spot for somebody like a Baker Mayfield. But it's just going to be interesting. Just let me know thoughts, comments, like, subscribe if you like the video. Tone out. Thank you.